on this ban list because, as you can see, M3 didn't get a lot of banning done last game.
No, they didn't really get any banning done last game whatsoever because those dashes indicate nothing has been banned from them. Hopefully this time things change as they're already one ban deep.
Yeah, or banning away the Echo here. So Condi not looking to grab that one as a first pick. He definitely did some work towards the early stages, not taking anything away from Condi there, but looks like they're just going to ban away their team comp.
Yeah, so they're banning away the things that were not working for them last game, but they're also denying them away from Xiaogu. The reason they picked that Victor, the reason they picked that Echo is to ensure that Xiaogu didn't actually get those champions, something that seemingly is a big priority for them. Not only that though, all of their bans are denying Doinby and Swift a lot of their strength.
Yeah, Ezreal actually making it through the ban phase this time around. QG not opting to take that one away, of course, on the red side now, so have to ban the Kalista. And Lupa will see what he decides to go with for that first pick. Ezreal is available, so like I would like to see that one come through, but do you think it's strong enough here? Of course, China has been playing it a lot more in the AD carry position. Haven't seen as much of it in the mid lane.
So China and M3 in particular have also been flexing that Ezreal pick, but I don't think it's worth first picking in 5.13.
Whoa, okay.
That's a very questionable first pick though.
Very strange first pick. We'll see how it pans out, Rusty,
Why?
as Lupa's locked in Aurelia.
That's confident. I
Yeah.
guess he could flex it with mid. I mean, it's
Well, we
got
have
the
been
possibility.
seeing a bit of it. Depends what Doinby is going to take into that lane. Of course, completely
Confidence.
blind at the moment. Condi could play it in the jungle. Who knows? Say to Devour Aurelia.
Why not?
Yeah. Well, probably because it has absolutely no clear in the jungle at the early levels, and you're basically useless. So that could be it. I'm not entirely sure.
If
Have
you
seen
don't
it
hit the
work.
big one, you can stun it.
Yeah, maybe. Whoa. Okay, but V, back onto the comfort champion here. Swift considering grabbing himself an on the hunt. I mean, a Sivir.
Basically the same thing there.
Yeah, that was kind of my point.
I get that.
Oh dear. Well, bottom lane now being considered with 5 seconds to go here from QG, and it looks like we are having a bit of a focus on movement speed, Rusty.
Yeah, so you've got the focus on movement speed, but in saying that the Sivir, who, as you said, is basically just an on-the-hunt bot, now does a lot of relevant damage because you've got Janna with that shield there, not only to increase the AD, but to give that extra survivability to a particular member. So in laning phase, TNT is going to be very hard to push out.
Well, we'll see whether this bottom lane does work as Dade's hovering over a Graves. We'll see what M3 decide to go with. Of course, feeling a little bit more comfortable now. They've managed to get some bans onto the board, so that's definitely a step up. And the fact that they're on the blue side, of course, M3 as well, having a little bit more of a chance of victory on that side of the Rift.
Is that locked in as well?
Yeah, that's Graves locked in.
Yeah, wow. This team comp is, they just know what they want. They've got a strategy set in stone, or they don't have one and they're playing comfort picks, but
well, at the moment, they're ignoring QG. They're just saying, okay, we don't really care. It's like Lupa's like, I'm playing Aurelia, guys.
Yeah. They're picking for himself right now, Lupa. He gets that Aurelia. They've got the Graves to boot, and then they've got the Rek'Sai. So there's a lot of early pressure between the Graves and the Rek'Sai. They've got a lot of mid-game strength between all three of the champions. Seems to me like their team comp does have set in stone that mid-game power spike win condition.
Yeah, we're having some interesting considerations there as V could definitely go... Whoa, okay. Dade has a smite in the mid lane already. Might be thinking a bit far ahead, but of course haven't seen Doinby on the Ezreal just yet. We'll see whether he decides to go with it here as Swift considering the Nidalee here for himself. Doinby hovering that one, of course. M3 will be expecting QG to be picking that mid lane last.
Yeah.
So probably not expecting an Ezreal to be locked in right here, and M3 probably going to opt for that one if they do. Judging purely by the summoner spells of Dade, but it is going to be Nidalee picked for the jungle, and we do have Shen heading back towards the top lane here for V.
And I mean, I like this comp, honestly, that Xiaogu have locked in thus far. They've got the Nidalee, who doesn't need to be that big engaged tool anymore because they've got the Sivir on the hunt ultimate to actually enable that ult to happen. And then they've got the Shen in the top lane who can protect not only TNT on that Sivir, but Doinby.
What? What's happening, Rusty?
It's locked in, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought it was. I didn't want to say anything. I thought I'd let you play that.
No, I don't want to. I'm opting out. SMLZ, though, considering the Ezreal. Okay, so that's something that we understand. Support Aurelia might be coming in. A bit of the Martyr special.
Yeah.
As we head onto the Rift. Look, that's a heck of a lot of burliness there on the bottom side of the map.
Tenacity, yeah.
Burliness is an interesting word for it, but
yeah.
Aurelia Graves as a lane just sounds super in your face.
It sounds like the strongest, just brute force base damage lane.
And there is a lot of we just want to go in, according to this M3 lineup. I mean, you've got Dragon's Descent. That's going to get you into a fight. Doesn't do a whole lot of getting you out again afterwards. And Aurelia just going to be blade surging around. So look, M3 might be just going for the all or nothing play.
So there's a couple things I like about M3's team composition in particular is the Graves and the Ezreal first and foremost.
Yep.
That is fantastic because if one Ezreal ultimate connects, Graves' burst is through the roof. And they could actually kill someone almost outright from their spell rotations whilst Dade is mid. So that is fantastic to consider between the two of them. But the support Aurelia into the Janna, they don't have much of a kill threat to say the least here.
No.
Because it's a Sivir and a Janna, whereas a Graves and an Aurelia, if you're looking at potential kill threats, is pretty much through the roof.
Looks like a kill lane, like of old.
Mm.
You know, when you used to run Garena.
So we're going to see like a Graves top lane and Shyvana Aurelia bottom and just run at them.
Who knows, Rusty? I honestly would not be surprised. But we haven't actually spoken about the fact that Morgana was locked in there for Doinby in the mid lane, of course, going back to some comfort here. We'll see how it goes against the Ezreal out of Dade, who's already played it and did look powerful. As we are going to go through the lineups here. Lupa taking Shyvana into Shen, definitely a matchup that he likes in the top side of the map. Condi going back to the Rek'Sai as Swift is going to pick up the Nidalee. So both junglers switching it up and going back towards their own styles here instead of switching over to each other's. And as we just mentioned, Ezreal versus Morgana in the mid lane.
Doinby going back to his roots, getting that support laner as we move towards the AD carries and SMLZ against TNT. Graves into Sivir.
It's an interesting one. We'll see whether that spell shield can be used to great effect in the bottom lane to make sure that he can get rid of a little bit of that buckshot damage. Ruo taking the Aurelia. So going from Nautilus to Aurelia in his sort of first two games for quite some time in the LPL. Definitely some aggressive choices on the rim.
Some versatility between top laners being supports apparently for this Ruo guy.
Yep.
He knows what he's doing when it comes to tanks.
Yeah, it certainly does. But look, I just want to see how it works. So let's get onto the riff. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the riff for M3 versus QG for our second game of the night. Still our first matchup here as QG looking to try and get ahead of EDG on the standings, whereas M3 just trying to get themselves some more points, get away from the tie that they have for themselves with IG towards the middle of the standings. At the moment, second takes on sixth, and M3 looking to try and get some work done. And Condi,
That's amazing.
oh my god, so adorable. Look at him. Oh. And he's in the river as well. That's the best part.
That is great. That's the best skin. And then Rek'Sai, of course, on Condi, that early pressure jungler. Swift also on a Cougar, so there's animals everywhere right now.
It is.
And there's a lot of early pressure from both of these players. It's nice to see them defaulting back to something they're comfortable with. But M3 are also running the 3 Smite comp at the moment. Embracing 5.13 with open arms.
Yeah, Graves just got his girlfriend there in the bottom lane. Feeling pretty good.
Though he should be. He has an Aurelia in his lane.
Not
He's
bad.
not the one that has to solely put out damage at this stage, which is always nice, having
Exactly.
2 damage threats. Twice the amount of damage potential.
And a fair bit of sort of kill threat if they do manage to work it right. Of course, TCT with the disengage, going to be pretty happy to get that one working as well. But we'll see whether this lane swap does come in as Swift is going to pay a visit to the brush. Looks like 4 members have been spotted out here by M3. Lots of pings going down. And the lane swap going to be opted for here by QG.
Yeah, so they put it into effect. The Aurelia not going to have a relevance in the direct 2v2 laning phase, but it doesn't necessarily favor Aurelia or not, in a way. I don't really see how getting the 2v2 lane is by any means a bad thing here for Xiaogu. The Aurelia does have a lot of early pressure, but you are a Janna Sivir lane after all. So I guess their ultimate goal is more of the PvE style. They actually just want to push down turrets. Very hard to do so when they've got the wave clear of the Graves.
Yeah, really, really nice last hitting there from Dade under the turret as Doinby's just shoving this wave relentlessly, as a tormented Soil Morgana definitely likes to do.
Yeah, and we're going to see a repeated defender here at Doinby pushing this in consistently and then trying to disappear. It's something that Doinby does so very well, is actually just keep Dade mid and then actually roam, which is good because the Ezreal likes to use the ultimate and be elsewhere, but then he's stuck under the tower. He can't roam at all unless he's the one in control of mid. It's so hard to do so against them all.
Yeah, and it looks like QG actually opting for 2 non-interactive lanes here, as they've got Siva, who definitely wants to play against a minion wave.
Yeah.
Both of the mid and bottom lane going to be doing the same thing here, as Shen probably just wants to be a damage soak. So honestly, this laning phase, not where QG are going to be focusing. They want to get to these team fights. They want to get that form of relevance on the Rift here, and there's not going to be a whole lot that M3 can do about it.
You know, the cool part about this as well is that though they're low impact laners, when it comes to ganks, if Morgana hits a bind, or Siva has some kind of usefulness with the level 6 as well.
If she has some kind of usefulness,
which
please!
Before 6 isn't really existent, but in saying that, if they can get a gank up with the level 6 Siva, these low impact laners or more wanting to farm oriented laners then have a lot of relevance for a potentially gank.
Yeah, that's true. Well, M3 with the man advantage on the bottom side of the map are going to be able to take down this dragon at about 4 minutes into the game. Something that we've seen a lot of, but getting it done definitely going to be working out here for this team. We'll see whether it is going to be a fast push in response, grab some extra turret gold here from QG, or whether they just want to keep it in this laning phase.
Committed to the freeze.
Oh, actually, Dade going all in here on Doinby. Gets through his own Essence Flux at the same time. You saw all of that attack speed. Dade making things happen here in the mid lane, and Doinby has to go back.
Yes, a very well played from Dade there to ensure he has control of this lane. Doinby putting a lot more of his emphasis on actually last hitting minions. You know, the cool part about this lane is that Doinby, though he's actually stayed, has teleport to get back anyway.
Oh yeah, of course, does like to pick that summoner spell up on the mid lane champion, and it looks like Dade getting possibly some attention here in the mid lane as a couple of friends hanging around on QG's side. Oh, Dark Binding does land. Dade does have Arcane Shift, forced to use the flash actually, dodges the spear though. He's going to be okay, and Dade just saying, oh, why are there more people in my lane?
Focusing on those mechanics, but a flash for a flash, not too bad for an Ezreal considering he has the E anyway, can get out to safety. We'll just be a little bit more hesitant to use it in an offensive manner from here on.
Yeah, Condi trying to make his presence known here as well. Fee just deciding that he wants some of this mid lane farm. More than happy to grab that. Doinby completely out of mana though, is going to head back to base. Get himself a bunch more of that. So Dade with a CS advantage here in the mid lane. No potions yet remaining and no flash.
And in typical Doinby fashion, wants to go for damage, does not want to go for any type of sustain.
No. Grabs himself a blasting wand. And we'll see, Rusty, whether that's going to be going towards the Abyssal Scepter, which is definitely something that a Morgana likes, or whether he might be going for a Rod of Ages as well.
Something that I am interested to see how that does progress, because it's very likely, given that we are 513, a Rod of Ages could be the way to go for him. It scales super well now, and Morgana, very in your face with the ultimate. Being a mid Morgana, you want to ensure that that does connect. Rod of Ages is very good for survivability. And maybe the build will be exactly what we saw in the Kassadin, but a repeat on a Morgana.
Yeah, I like it. Rife with anticipation now, Rusty, as well. So we'll see what happens. See whether Doinby does like to go for it. Of course, having some extra health, pretty good idea. And you can just build it sort of like you would sort of the old Kassadin, where you just go Rod of Ages into the Zhonya's Hourglass and just be that monster that can't be removed.
Yeah, exactly. There will always be a Zhonya's on a mid Morgana. The question is when in the itemization.
Yeah.
And, I mean, given that we are on the new patch, the changes, we don't know exactly what Doinby's thinking, but he's a very innovative and smart player, so we'll see what he does want to do.
Yeah, almost able to land that Dark Binding onto Dade there as well, sidestepping nicely, still 5 CS in the lead, but QG starting the fast push in the top lane, of course. 4 members available are going to be able to push that turret down. M3 did organically have about a 500 gold lead, but QG now, after they are going to be able to remove that turret, are going to push themselves ahead.
A lot of that lead is almost on Shyvana exclusively as well, based off the fact that they have 5 CS on V right now, not exactly having a great time, but he's been spending most of his time rotating around with the jungler, Swift, who has found himself doing quite well. They get the top turret.
Yeah, Dade has had no company at all there in the mid lane. It is Swift moving down now. He's going to be able to get a trap out, but Dade sees it as he moves over towards that side of the map, but almost towards that Runeglaive. That's when Dade's really going to start to go off. Of course, all the Runeglaive nerfs that you've seen coming through in 5.14, not here just yet. We are on 5.13, so that Runeglaive actually had a buff in the transition that Dade just went through as far as his mid lane Ezreal is concerned.
Yes, still very strong, still needs to be completely in consideration here. And Dade getting that Ezreal is something that does raise some questions as to how that got through the draft completely unattended until much later in. In fact, I think it was one of their last rotations.
Yeah, the interesting thing here that I want to mention is the fact that Dade's Ezreal actually got a direct buff because he didn't build Luden's Echo, and that was what was changed as we moved from 5.12 to 5.13. So we'll see whether Dade's able to utilize that.
Walls are hard sometimes, Swift.
Yeah, they certainly are. It's not quite leveling tier just yet, though.
No, but you're right. The fact that Dade's itemization, although his item build, is now getting an indirect buff because the Luden's got nerfed from the part of Runeglaive that was making it so very strong, is going to do wonders for his mid lane. The fact that it got a 10 AP bonus as well.
Lupa being the annoying Shyvana that he is, able to take down this red buff here, down to about 900 health. Oh, Swift going to find his way over. He's going to be able to take it down, so Lupa unable to get the steal. Doinby over here as well, Soul Shackles up. Dragon's Descent down, dodges out of the way of both the binding and the shield as SMLZ has to deal with TNT now. Ruo, got to be a bit careful. But after everything, it looks like M3 able to assert some dominance.
Aurelia is one of the funniest supports because she finds the strength in having no health because it guarantees the stun. It's one of the cooler parts, and you can use your Q to actually get next to them, use the Relic Shield stack from that also, and then find a stun. So there's a lot of cool, unique ways that the laning phase does come about with Ruo on this Aurelia.
Yeah, there's also the fact that if there's more people, she's not going to be stunned for as long here as well, as there's the Equilibrium Strike. Oh, that collateral damage did so much work to heal. Is it going to be enough? No! Oh my goodness, Ignite not ticking down far enough, and TNT is going to survive another day.
TCT finding the shield as well just to ensure that he did not go down, but exactly what I was just talking about is the Relic Shield dash from the Aurelia. Hits the stun or forces the spell shield immediately, and then follows up with another strike and the Graves combo, completely pushing TNT out of lane, and you can see from that alone why they didn't want to be there.
Oh, well, Runeglaive now completed for Dade as we see him in the mid lane here, and see whether he can assert more dominance now. Of course, that Smite having a little bit more relevance, opting to go for the Trailblazer just to make sure he has more wave clear. And something that Monte Cristo actually mentioned just recently is the fact that getting wave clear on an Ezreal is such a big deal.
Yeah, massively. It's why most people go for that Trailblazer opposed to a challenging or chilling Smite. So exactly what Dade has gone for here, as you mentioned, getting that wave clear, and most importantly, matching Doinby's wave clear so that he isn't stuck in mid lane and he can go elsewhere. Yeah, it's difficult.
It is. It's a Morgana. She's able to kill creeps. That is most definitely one of her skills. TCT hunting Condi down, who can't actually see her, can see the tremors. He's going to be able to swim away. Yeah, he's able to create these little pools. You know? It's amazing. How do you swim across grass, Condi? Please tell me your secret.
There's a lot of questions there. He's using a tunnel system directly underneath the water, the grass.
Ah, right. Got it. Subterranean water.
Yet the ground doesn't change.
Yeah, I think that was part of that really bad James Bond film, if you remember. Ruo, though, taking some harass damage here. Nice boomerang coming out of TNT as Condi just saying, okay, now she's going to be able to get a pretty guaranteed stun there in the bottom lane. I might hang around. But one thing I want to talk about, Doinby is going for the Rod of Ages.
He is going to go for that Rod of Ages, maybe even going for the exact same build we saw last time when he was on that Kassadin. The pseudo bruiser mid lane that should not usually be there is now becoming very prevalent. Doinby going to go for at least the Rod of Ages of that build so far. And something more importantly that I actually wanted to mention at this stage is the difference between the top lanes. That is 70 CS to what was 40 is now going up because Lupa had left the lane. But he's pushing Shen in. And then he's taking the jungle. We've seen him at the red buff. He took the Krugs earlier.
He
was at his own Gromp before, as he's done it a second time now. The only time he hasn't gotten jungle camps is when Swift has been invading their jungle to take it away from Lupa.
Condi, though, actually going to go straight into the Dark Binding there. Swift going to try and jump on top of him. The flash out there, but everyone following. SMLZ with so much damage down now as Doinby trying to get it turned around. Ruo, so much damage out of the QG lineup. Lupa teleporting in is going to be able to protect everyone, and Condi, the only man to die.
That was so well played by Xiaogu. They both go over the wall aggressively. The flash from Doinby on the Morgana, and Nidalee getting the reset on that pounce, getting back to safety only barely. Lupa's still here though. He might want this.
Yeah, it does have a smite available, remember. 3 smites here for M3, sampling all of the the jungle items that he can. Condi actually managed to Void Rush his way into this fight. V quite low now, but he's very tanky. Dade with an interesting flash over the wall as QG trying to get out. Oh, the teleport.
Nice.
That's going to get V to safety and back to base as well to pick up some items.
No one actually dying from that. Dade putting down a lot of damage onto all of the retreating members of the Xiaogu lineup. They keep V stuck in the pit, but he manages to get out using his flash and teleport one after the other. And the fact that nobody died right there from Xiaogu, they still got the dragon. They managed to find a kill prior to that. Everything's going well for them right now.
Yeah, and that's actually Swift picking up first blood as well, which is a big deal. The fact that Nidalee, a little bit more of a carry jungler here, and in the hands of Swift, that makes it no different. Condi and Ruo are able to secure that Gromp. As QG decide not to take that on their way through, and a lot of vision available from M3 on the bottom side of the map. Pretty upset they didn't get the dragon.
Yeah, they've got a lot of control of this bottom area. They're going again.
Yeah, there's the tunnel in. TNT's going to get knocked up. Transcendent Blades is here. Ruo trying to find the Blade Surge, but not going to get there in time. It's TCT making his way out here as well. So SMLZ making his way back towards the lane. And he is going to be free from opponents for a moment.
We mentioned how hard it is going to be to actually take down TNT and TCT, either of them. Super difficult because they've got shields at every possible corner of their kit. But in saying that, the Aurelia, the Graves, and in this case Condi on that Rek'Sai as well, they just have so much damage threat, so much burst potential from their mid-game based champions, that this lane has been so difficult for the TCT-TNT combo to even get through.
Yeah. It's been very, very hard. And of course, last game it was QG sort of winning all of these lanes, able to get large CS leads across the board, apart from the fact that SMLZ was so far ahead. But now you've got Dade. He's ahead by 30 CS this time, instead of it being Doinby. And we'll see whether this Ezreal is going to be the turning point. Nice Dark Binding. Doinby going to lock himself down a blue buff. And Scuttle Crab is going to fall down as Swift grabs that one. So CS advantage for Swift here in the jungle. And that is just generally how it's going to work. I mean, Nidalee just eats jungle camps.
Yeah, pretty much, especially once you get that Rune Glaive, it just exponentially increases. But something I really wanted to touch on here about the Ezreal in particular, as you were mentioning, has that CS lead. The way that Dade is playing the Ezreal is super important. He's actually saving his Q for when the Rune Glaive is active, because the Q cooldown, if it connects, is lower than that of the Rune Glaive, actually using the AoE proc.
Oh, okay.
So he's waiting a little bit of time, just that tiny bit extra, to ensure that every single Q he's throwing out is getting the proc and is helping his wave clear against this Morgana.
Yeah, Condi as well. Actually deciding to follow Swift around just a little bit. Spear not going to land, but you can see Condi, now that he has that Cinderhulk completed, pretty tanky.
Definitely tanky. He's something that needs to be respected. Has gone for the Sidestone option too, whereas Swift, on the flip side, cooldown reduction, ability power.
Dade's just doing so much damage.
Machine gun. Right
now. Hitting a lot of these ones as Rune Glaive is going to give you a little bit of cooldown reduction as well. Now has the Fiendish Codex for a little bit more. See how close he gets to 40% as we move forward. SMLZ actually has to be very careful. Ruo making his way towards the back line, but
that got spell shielded by TNT as well.
Oh dear.
Graves ultimate no longer available. Bit awkward.
Collateral misfire just a little bit. SMLZ chugging down on some potions though. He's got a lot of consumables in his back pocket and continues to have a CS advantage as we move in. But Swift making his way down. Ruo, it's have to be very careful. There's the heal from SMLZ. As TNT is going to get taken down. That Monsoon a little bit late. And the True Shot Barrage not going to be necessary in order to take down that AD carry, and Ruo somehow survived.
Ruo super low, but the committal was not there from Swift. Did not want to use the dash offensively with two members directly there stalking the outskirts of where Ruo was. Needed to be respected. They actually lose a member for their trouble, so maybe an afterthought, Swift should have committed to that, maybe put the focus onto him. But TNT, nice spell shield yet again. Didn't have it to save him though this time.
No, not quite. As Dade and Doinby just going to be trading blows in the mid lane. Dade just arcane shifting and carrying himself. Oh, no Dark Binding, but not going to. As he's just going to head back to base. It's like, okay, this will do. Just want to go home.
Though has found Doinby.
Just throws down a cheeky twin bite, and he's going to leave. Dark Binding just going to be juked ever so easily by the Shyvana. And I think Loop is playing PvE League of Legends at the moment. He just wants to kill jungle camps.
Look at the wards in Swift's jungle. The focus has just been bottom. They just dove bottom. But Looper has quite literally just been in Swift's jungle, getting all of the farm that he possibly can. that isn't his. And so now the ward coverage that has been in that jungle also, you can see it everywhere, littered around where he would be wanting to farm.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a whole lot of sense. Lupa, A, he's in a non-interactive lane. V, not going to be pressuring him out too much, but he's also against a jungler that really wants farm. You can see it's a Rod of Ages second on Swift after the Lucidity Boots and, of course, that Runeglaive. Swift wants to be getting around. He wants to be getting farm as Doinby all in from Dade. Oh, the Q not going to be enough as Dade just one more time unable to get the work done. Nice knock up there from Condi as Dade thinks, oh, maybe this is my time to grab a kill. Q's not going to find it here. A bit longer there available from Condi. He's able to land it, but Swift is going to be safe for now.
Yeah, Swift just waiting for those stacks on his Rod of Age. It's nice to see he's taken more of a health-based build. And we're looking at the side of Xiao, and they're actually pretty much just bruisers. Shen, the only dedicated tank. They've got that long-range missile barraging style of Nidalee who can become the bruiser, and same with the Morgana working towards that Zhonya's second item.
Dade is throwing around a whole heap of spells. Whoa, I thought that spear was going to be able to take that one down, but there's the Equilibrium Strike. Swift taking so much damage. Ruo unable to get over the wall, but is the Ignite going to be enough as Condi? He's going to get taken down. True Shot Barrage TNT taking so much damage from Dade. Wants to be able to get the kill. Essence Flux, not enough. Lupa burns him to death there as Dade now trying to chase everyone else down. This Runeglaive doing a bunch of work. Swift is super low. Arcane Shift over the wall, but just not quite enough damage just yet with only that Arcane, the Chalice.
Yeah, Athene's.
That's the guy. Eventually managed to figure that one out, but nice team fight there from M3.
Dade even using his Smite there to ensure he had mana to go back over the wall. The aggression from this Ezreal is just through the roof. And we were talking about how Xiao are this bruiser style of mid lane and jungle duo. Well, the bruisers from M3 are just doing it better at this stage in the game. This Aurelia support initiating onto Swift on this Nidalee, who had no relevance outside of being in a ranged missile throwing form, could not actually do anything in that fight. The rest of Xiao, V having to use his taunt to get over the wall because Swift was in full retreat. It's just working out super well for M3 at this stage of the game.
Yeah, really, really is. 2 dragons now to 1, though. QG have managed to get one. And look, when you've got 3 times the smites and there's no Callista on the other team, you're probably feeling pretty confident as far as these neutral objectives. So QG did well to be able to grab one of these dragons and may not be able to get another one as we move forward.
It's definitely going to get more difficult for them to do so, but it does come down to one big fight essentially from Xiao. They've got the makings of a fantastic team fight on the back of the Morgana. Maybe looking towards the Zhonya's Hourglass before they really commit to a full-on 5v5 fight. Swift finding himself a True Shot Barrage, so you've been spotted.
Yeah, most definitely. Not exactly the most delicious thing to eat on the bottom side of the map, but there are a lot of members. They are just trying to clear out the wave here as M3 turning it on. Condi finds his way in. Void Rush going to get him here just to help out this bottom lane. But the tower very, very low. And there's a lot of wave clear available. Lupa just decides, okay, well, I'm going to take this turret.
Xiao are looking for the response, of course, though, so they're going to be trading.
Yep, the 1-for-1.
Graves, SMLZ in particular, is just so trigger happy with that ultimate.
Yeah, Dark Binding onto Condi. Dade able to get a Q over, but he's lost a lot of health. And TNT ain't stopping.
No, they're going to keep going. Finally, Shen responds to Lupa, though, so... I mean, nothing actually going to come any further, just a bit of pushing their luck from both sides. Still looking to scale, though, for the most part, as Dade's actually found definitely the better end of this deal.
Yeah, 40 CS in the lead here. Spear not going to find anything. Grabs a bit of air. There's Sorcerer's Shoes and a needlessly large rod now for Dade, so his AP is stacking up. And yeah, QG just transitioning the Sivir around. Does have the Infinity Edge. The Berserker's Greaves there as well for some more attack speed. These towers don't last long. Dark Binding is going to find Condi. Spear as well. QG with some decent poke. Boomerang almost grabs the second one, but the tunnel in. Condi still looking for it here. Ruo turned around on him. Massive damage from the True Shot Barrage, but M3 not enough to offer in this fight. Shyvana, Lupa just getting caught out. Does have to use a defensive dragon to get over the wall, and Dade just more than happy to sit in the back line and get the poke down. Doinby.
If by backline you mean direct front line, that is exactly what Dade
well, his
is
front
doing
line
right now.
sort of wasn't there anymore, so he became it. He was trying to be in the... It was hard. It's difficult.
He's having a very rough time, Dade.
Yeah.
That particular trade right there was forced onto Xiaogu, but it was also on their terms, essentially. They've got the Janna shield, the Morgana Black shield, and then the Spell shield from the Sivir. You can see exactly what Xiaogu's comp is trying to do, and that is letting them engage onto one member of your team with the single target damage of even the Aurelia to a degree, and then completely turning that fight around just from the raw amount of shields that they have. Didn't even mention the Shen. Didn't need to be mentioned, but that's another extra shield of about 500.
Yeah, just casual 500. No worries there at all as TNT. Spell shield was there, so even if Dade did hit that Q, probably would have been A-okay. Just denied a little bit of mana. A little bit unfortunate there. Probably would have liked to have been hit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, Lupa continuing to shove out. Full tank Shyvana, not opting for any sort of cheeky second item. Blade of the Ruined Kings, anything like that here for Lupa just to keep his pushing on. He just wants to be farming minions and being a monster.
You don't
oh
want,
my
wow.
goodness. What? Dade going 1v2 and being pretty capable of it at the moment by the looks.
Dade going full aggro with that aggression too. He maxed the W second. He's got 3 levels in his E already at level 15. The second that Dade hit 16, that power spike exponentially increasing. So difficult for Xiaogu to deal with just the Ezreal, let alone the rest of their side. When Lupa actually joins a fight, that guy is going to be a monster of a man. 210 CS at 24 minutes. The only one, well, both carries are beating him, but his farm is huge. Shen's farm is lacking. But you look at the mid lane in particular. Keep in mind, we're at 24 minutes in the game.
24 minutes, Rusty. What the heck? Dade has been like the agriculturalist this game. He is farming everything.
He is the epitome of a herbivore at this stage. The fact that he can be this far ahead of the clock, he is...
that spell shield was insane. Whoa. That would have been most of TNT's health bar.
No doubt. He's working towards that needlessly large rod item. I'd say the death cap here from Dade.
Yeah, it was what he went for last time.
He's going to be near unstoppable in terms of damage output, near unrivaled in terms of damage output. But it is worth noting at this stage, TNT still farming, farming very well still, has got himself that Zhonya's Hourglass and an AP Elixir right now.
Yeah, so in comparison to like 280 CS at 25 minutes, which is ludicrous, you know, in comparison to the clock, Doinby's still doing absolutely fine.
They're going.
Yeah, now looking to try and grab this one. It is going to be locked down by Condi. A couple of extra spines going to be helping here. True Shot Barrage didn't actually find anyone here as QG still able to get a decent team fight. The double stun from the Soul Shackles gets them at least Ruo. And Lupa now in no man's land on his own. Dade trying to get the poke damage in, but Doinby just takes him out. And you can see, look at this man's face. Doinby very excited about getting into these fights. Always looks like he's concentrating with everything he's got, and Dade now has to try and defend this turret.
And you can tell that he wanted to fly right there. The rest of Xiaogu always on that fact, just from the fact he had an Elixir alone. That says to me he wanted to spike, he wanted to match the power of the Ezreal in that moment. They fight in the pit, engaging with a Nidalee with a Shen ultimate on top of them, and then just force M3 out of the pit so that everyone that was stuck, they went down. And that's the fight that Xiaogu are going to be looking for. They've got such great, not tank frontline necessarily, but overshield on bruises, which makes them indirect tanks.
Yeah, Smell Z with it. Decent quick draw is going to get him out of the way of the Dark Binding there from Doinby, which have been on point, forcing skills, forcing flashes if you want to be able to get out of the way of them. Doinby knows his way around a Morgana most definitely. Still able to get some stuff done. Both of the kills for M3 have been onto TNT as well. Despite that, still able to pick up an extra couple of kills. Smoke screen down from SMLZ.
Oh no.
Nice quick draw to get out of that one. Dark Binding has to land here if Doinby wants to do anything, but the teleport in from Lupa. V actually flashes on top of SMLZ, able to get out of it though in time. And Condi, he's now found his way around. Doinby has to be very, very careful. Lupa locks down the kill onto V, and now Doinby. Black Shield's there. True Shot Barrage is enough damage, and Dade locks down the kill.
A complete misplay from Doinby right there. The dash from Graves, as expected, but it completely dodged out of the Morgana ultimate. The binding actually then connected to a minion. So
yeah, but that minion was so dead.
The minion was a hero right there in that fight. The fact that Graves is able to just instantly turn that around, V having to use the teleport to try and save his AP carry who just made that mechanical error. They end up paying for it with more than just their lives.
Yeah, and M3 actually looking like they have a lot more control this game. Their movements around the map have been fantastic here. Swift and TNT trying to defend the turret, but Ruo gets on top of TNT. He gets evaporated. Swift now in trouble. True Shot Barrage across 4 people as the spear lands onto Ruo, but He's a supporter rally. He's not too worried. Face of the Mountain already completed for him as well. Swift with an Elixir in his back pocket. Void Staff complete as well. It is a scary Nidalee, but M3 able to brute force their way through and grab a turret.
It feels like a desperation play from Xiaogu by that gank in the bottom lane. It's Doinb trying to make something happen, feeling pressured essentially to make that happen. It's reflective of the fact that they have 2 elixirs on their mid laner and their jungler. They're looking to instantly match the power that M3 were outputting around that dragon fight and try and snowball a control of the map from that. They got a good fight, but it didn't translate any further into a direct control because of one mistake from Doinb.
Yeah.
That now, the 400 gold that they've both put into elixirs is about to run out, and the control that they had, the item efficiency is dropped by an extra, say, 800 worth of items.
Yeah, and you really need to get something out of that one because 800 gold is a decent portion of their gold at what was an advantage, but now it's a deficit. So
Yeah.
now it's as if they're behind by an extra 1,000 gold, which is something that QG really don't want at this stage of the game.
And you're looking at about an entire Athene's worth of gold difference between the mid laners as well from the looks of it, which is just disgusting.
Yeah. So much farm onto Dade. 1-0 and 2 now as well.
Again.
He needs to land the Dark Binding, and as soon as he doesn't, this is the problem with Morgana. He's like, oh my goodness, it didn't land. No, it's the problem with Morgana is that you just don't have enough after that misses.
Yeah, you rely a lot on ensuring that one of your 2 spells hits so that you can combo it with the other. Otherwise, the mid Morgana feels a little bit lackluster at best.
Yeah.
You're then just a walking black shield. The pool never going to be relevant. Oh my god.
What the hell? Okay, pretty sure Swift is dead, everyone.
He's so dead.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think this would be the time to use Super Dead. I have a
Super
feeling.
dead.
Yeah. TNT, TCT, though, they want to try and
Wow.
defend this Baron, but triple smite. Looper with so much of an ability to tank this one up, and the quick drawing SMLZ able to get in here. The teleport is down, though. V wants some of this fight. They have no Swift. Doinb gets in, does have the Zonyas, wants to be able to get this snare, but Looper just Dragon's Descents out of it. SMLZ locks down Doinb. The rest of QG has to run away, and M3 decide they'll just take the free Baron.
And again, it feels like desperation from Xiaogu. Everything that they are doing is in an attempt to deny M3 from getting something. It's backfiring pretty much in its entirety right there. As Doinb was the one to teleport into the Baron pit.
Yeah, that was Doinb. I apologize. I'm used to it always being the top
Yeah,
laners.
he was then the one to flash ultimate 2 members and instantly have to Zonyas. He then he didn't use his flash. He then flashed back into the Baron pit and died to the Baron, basically.
Right.
So, not a great idea. But you can tell that the decisions that he was making were in an attempt to do something desperate, to get his team back in this game by whatever means possible.
Yeah.
And unfortunately it did not work for them. But this side of M3, it's starting to become overbearing in their strength. The Ezreal instantly destroying Swift before that even started.
It was ludicrous amounts of damage as well. True Shot Barrage over TCT didn't actually hit him.
Half health Doinb though.
Yeah, a little bit late on the black shield there, but probably wouldn't have done too much. That's more than half health out of Dade, who just wants to land more Qs, reduce that cooldown even further. TNT takes a quarter of his health from 1 Q. Dade's got plenty more where those came from.
Yeah, so they're probably not going to push anything further. They might look for maybe the bottom tower at best, but that's a very long way away from them, M3. They're looking to probably just reset. If they can push mid, that'd be great, but maybe rotate it into the dragon again.
Yeah,
it's a point of contention.
as well. Yeah, Condi needs to be careful here. TNT found him as well, but Looper makes his way over. Does have enough for the Dragon's Descent, can get over there if he wants, but Swift once again eliminated from the fight. Looper dancing straight into the pit. Collateral damage over for Doinb, able to use the Zonyas. True Shot Barrage nets a kill into TNT, and Doinb with nothing left is going to get destroyed. SMLZ locks down that kill. They'll grab a dragon off it. At M3, this looks like a completely different team.
They look almost completely unbeatable at this stage. They're now translating that immediately into the mid lane, allowing Condi to just sit back there himself. He'll have his ultimate up as well, so he can just recall and come straight back into the fray if need be. Instead, he's going to go bottom and get that going. But this mid lane, very, very dead. It is super dead, Atlas.
Most definitely super dead, Rusty. Thank you very much for identifying that fact as the inhibitor does fall down. Ruo going to be able to get himself to safety as well. So M3 able to break the base now with an 8,000 gold lead, 6 turrets to 3, 4 dragons to 1. That's the big deal. The fact that 5th dragon looming in another 6 minutes for QG. Blue buff going to be taken down here as well as Dade grabs that, just uses a whole heap of buttons and gets his way out.
Oh no.
Well, actually decides not to because he may have spotted Swift on the map.
I think he's found himself an opportunity to be cheeky and maybe look for a kill. You can tell he's waiting. He wants someone.
Well, he has True Shot Barrage off cooldown. Oh,
okay.
No, decides he just
I'd
wants
probably just
to
recall now. That was a waste of time, mate.
No, he kind of wishes that we weren't watching.
That was slightly embarrassing.
Doesn't matter though, because True Shot Barrage, such a low cooldown. Dade's like, why wasn't he there? What the heck? Killed us so easily. Okay, well, he is going to head back, grabs himself the finished Void Staff, now has a QSS as well. Of course, this is an Ezreal. He wants to be auto-attacking. He can grab a Mercurial Scimitar and it'll be fine.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this team right here of
Actually,
M3
with a Runeglaive on this patch, changes the auto attacks to magic damage.
Yeah.
So with a Void Staff, Mercurial Scimitar actually gets boosted by the AD with the auto attack.
So does crit. I believe it changes to magic damage crits.
That's silly. Maybe he builds Infinity Edge as his last item. That'd be silly.
So his boots get a Zephyr.
Yeah, he's got no extra crit from anything else, so it'll probably not work at all. But I'm excited by the idea. The prospect is most definitely there.
No, Xiaogu, you can tell. I've been calling them desperate for a while now. They're now sitting in bushes looking for any attempts.
TNT. Nice spell shield saves his life. True Shot Barrage again goes sailing by as Doinby has to be careful. Oh, another couple of spells from Dade, but not going to find the mark with the Essence Flux. Condi trying to find his way in. Looper right round the side as well. Everyone pressured off. Dade locks down the kill on it. Doinby. I'm just not ready for it. It's so much extra damage.
He's going off right now, Dade. There is no stopping this Ezreal. He is well and truly putting his team on his back. He's sick of this Victor and getting counter-picked in mid lane. Playing the aggressive Ezreal and making it work for him. Once this ultimate is back up, if he connects with either Swift, TNT, Doinby, or TCT, someone dies.
Yeah, in he goes. There's the Monsoon to get Looper out of the fight, but he's right into the backline once again. Dade flashes forward. True Shot Barrage! Instant double kill! A triple out of there as well with the follow-up Q. And M3, they'll use that to seal the game.
M3 feel like they've just woken up and become the team that we are usually expecting to see from them. It's such a convincing closeout. These guys, they did, as you said, look like a completely different team.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. And Dade, if he doesn't get the MVP, I'm going to lose my mind. But last couple of kills, like, you saw his face in the last game as well. This guy did not have a great time. His Victor, 3 kills in a row in the early game and then sort of fell off, was unable to get anything done. And Doinby rolled all over him. This game, entirely the opposite. Doinby looked like he was able to shove the waves in, able to get things done early on, but after that, looked like all M3 and honestly all Dade.
It feels like Xiaogu, they admitted the fact they were behind from an early stage in this game and they started making these desperation attempts, just these really, they just wanted to get back in their game however they could. They almost wanted to cheese their way back in, but M3, they reigned supreme in that game. They looked too strong to handle and they just ran over the top of this Xiaogu side.
Yeah, and we'll see whether M3 can replicate this kind of game without the Ezreal available, because of course we are going to be moving forward. Runeglaive is going to get toned down just a little bit. Of course, we are going to be on 5.13 for quite some time, so look, we'll see whether Dade is ever going to get the Ezreal again, because I have a feeling like this is going to be like the Rise against M3. Just never let it be seen.
Something that they can flex pick as well is they've seen SMLZ playing Ezreal. It's got so many strengths more than just the fact that Dade went off on that. But you're right, something that's probably going to have to be attended to, the fact that the Rise is banned away from top and mid, maybe the Ezreal from mid and AD. It's a really big flex pick, and M3 are a team that works super well around these flexible options. They have very versatile drafting. They had an